Welcome back, everybody, to FDRA's Footwear Flash Briefings. I'm here with Matt Priest. Matt,
Yeah.
the top level issue right now that we see today. I know that government data has just come out that gives us a clear picture of trade issues. What is that data, and what does it mean for footwear industry?
Yeah, we saw a report in the February report on the trade deficit declining 12%, which is something that would normally be celebrated by the Trump White House. But the fact is, Andy, something economists and us and many others have been declaring for quite some time is that when there's a shrinkage in the trade deficit, that's usually an indication that the American economy is contracting because our spending power is declining and we can suck in less imports from around the world. And lo and behold, this is even before the coronavirus has taken effect. So you can expect over the coming months that the trade deficit will continue to shrink. And at that point, what will the White House do? Will they point to shrinking trade deficit numbers in the middle of a recession? It just goes back to the point that as the largest economy in the world, we're going to have a trade deficit with other countries because we have the most powerful spending power. We're going to continue to draw in imports. And when things go south here, guess what? The trade deficit declines.
Obviously, we just saw numbers come out for unemployment spiking again. We see a lot of companies across our industry, cutting workers loose, hopefully to rehire later. But things are continuing down a downward trajectory. What are you hearing from CEOs right now about what they're thinking about and what their forward projections are?
Yeah, everyone's trying to hold on to cash. That's obviously something that we've talked about consistently and CEOs continue to talk about. We're seeing that play out in the announcements of workers being furloughed and laid off. And our hearts go out to those who have lost their jobs or have temporarily been asked to go home in the hopes that they can return here soon once shops open up, demand picks up. But in the meantime, one of the things we're focused on, Andy, is trying to get the White House to be convinced that they need to defer duty payments for 90 days. We've heard 6 or 7 press reports from very reputable press outlets saying that this is under consideration, just to have the President of the United States say in his evening briefing that he hasn't considered that, or the Chinese don't care, or China pays the duties. And none of this is actually going to the problem of the fact that American companies pay these duties. And all we're asking for at this point is just allow us to defer payments for 90 days. It's not even a rolling 90 days. It's a 90-day window where they won't collect duty payments, and if needed, to go beyond that. But for the time being, what's frustrating is that we get these reports, people get excited about the prospect of holding on to some cash to maybe hold on to some of their workforce, and then there's no presidential proclamation nor no guidance out of the White House to provide us what happens next. And so we keep pushing to get an answer from the politicals at the White House as to what they're doing, and in hopes that they will alleviate some of the pressure and provide this duty deferment.
I mean, it's also a big issue, too, with us trying to bring in spring and summer product. I know a lot of factories are shuttered their doors again because demand has completely plummeted. And if we want to go ahead and start to make sure that there are shoes and product on store shelves when we do recover from all this and things open back up, deferring those duties would allow cost reductions and allow people to kick in right now and say, okay, let's go ahead and do that if we know we can reduce our costs by 20%. There's huge incentives on that end. So, in terms of numbers of letters sent to Congress, do we have an update on that as well?
Yeah, last time I checked, we were north of 6,000. So that drumbeat continues on. And I know more and more companies at the executive level, at the CEO level, have sent the letter out from their headquarters to their employees and to their associates. And we know these are sensitive times. We know that workers being furloughed and folks having to go home right now is not the opportune time to ask you to engage with your member of Congress. But this is vitally important. And the more tools that are made available, whether it's in the $2.2 trillion stimulus package or it's in a fourth package that's being debated right now, the more tools that are made available based on your advocacy, the better off we will be. And so we encourage folks to send that letter in. You can go to FDRA.org and click, and it literally takes 10 to 15 seconds max to get that letter in, Andy.
All right, folks, you heard it here. This is the latest Footwear Flash Briefing. Please stay close to FDRA as we keep you updated throughout the process. We do think that there will be additional economic bills that are coming before Congress. We're in the middle of a lull now as the government tries to get checks out and tries to get the money moving in the right direction. But there is continued talks about further bailouts of industries and further economic stimulus. So this is an ongoing thing. Again, please stay close. Matt, have we missed anything that we need to cover before we drop off?
Nope. The employment numbers come out tomorrow. We have an eye on those, and then from there we'll continue to look at our weekly sales survey. Those numbers are not pretty. We'll keep our members posted on what we're seeing on the internal sales survey side.
Great. Thank you very much. Folks, please stay safe.